Hello, welcome back to ITV Asia. I'm Sharon Landon, and your program host for Executive Women Focus on China. Today I'd like to welcome our guest today, Catherine Cagigal. Catherine is the Vice President of Asia Pacific for Pentair. Catherine, thank you very much for coming today.
It's a pleasure to be here, Sharon. Thank you.
Or it's extra special too today because she just flew in this morning back from India, so she's had a very, very busy, long day, so double thank you.
No problem. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay. So a little bit about Catherine. Catherine was born in Texas, grew up in Oklahoma City. She has a Bachelor's of Fine Arts from the University of Oklahoma. She also has her master's degree in Human Resources Management from NYU. Now, she does have over 20 years experience in human resources from Brazilian Bank, Citibank, GE, and of course Pentair. So hopefully she'll be able to share some of her valuable insights with us today. Okay, Catherine, well, just a little bit about your background, I would say, and how is it that a Texas girl, well, almost, ended up here in Shanghai in 2000.
Working hard, mostly just working hard. I've had some terrific experiences. I very much started at the ground level in human resources, had some great mentors and some great sponsors, and worked for some really great companies. I did start my HR career in New York City, working for a Brazilian bank, starting at very much at ground level, learning the basics. Was able to get promoted over and over again just working hard by learning as much as I could. I think active learning is a big part of being successful. There is a great deal of opportunity both in human resources and for female executives at this point. So I started working for a Brazilian bank, eventually getting promoted over and over again until I was responsible for their North American region, including Canada and Grand Cayman, Mexico, and the U.S. From there, I went back to, I returned to Brazil, where I had spent a few years already, returned to Brazil and started working for Citibank, worked for Citibank for a year in their training programs, responsible for all the training programs for their Brazilian office. And at that point, their Brazil office was their third largest moneymaker in the world for Citibank. So very strong presence, very strong growth at that point in Brazil. And I got recruited from GE. GE is probably considered to have the best human resources professionals in the market today. Terrific training ground, terrific opportunity. I was again promoted to be responsible for all of their Latin American offices. So at that point I started my true international career, having people reporting to me and being responsible for multiple locations throughout Latin America. Again, the ability to have people supporting you and mentoring you and coaching you throughout your career is really important, looking for feedback and opportunities to learn. Very successful in that business, and got promoted again to head office, to headquarters, which at that point for GE Healthcare was in Milwaukee. So I was relocated to Milwaukee, took on a global position, which was really exciting, traveling throughout Asia. That was my first experience with Asia, in Europe and throughout the United States, supporting had several different jobs at headquarters, working with some pretty talented business leaders and pretty large in scope, lots and lots of people, lots of responsibility in terms of revenue and business size, but pretty much functional at that point. It was at that time that Pentair approached me and asked me to come and work for their water business. Pentair today is responsible for a multitude of products that deal with water, pumps and filters and all kinds of water products throughout the market. So I worked for their domestic business at first, focus on filtration. It provided me the opportunity to have a full P&L. So up to that point, I had worked in several different types of businesses and sizes of businesses, but never complete end-to-end P&L businesses. And as an HR professional, what is most exciting is to have that P&L experience that actually gives you the opportunity to see if your initiatives and activities result in positive impact on the business, right? So are you able to actually help the business grow and be more profitable? So Pentair provided that experience for me. So as I've progressed in my career, I've looked for opportunities to grow and to learn and to fill a basket of experiences that I didn't have previously. So I started my first year and a half with Pentair, responsible for supporting their filtration business, and then got asked to come and work for their Asia Pacific business. That was exciting for me because it provided me not only an opportunity to get back in the international arena, which is where I really love to work, but to live in Asia, which was something very exciting for me. I lived in Latin America but had not lived in Asia, and I really welcomed the opportunity to do that. In addition to that, Asia happens to be just the most exciting place to be in the world right now.
Yeah, often when I ask people about what their thoughts of ever thinking that they would end up in China or something, a few years ago, they never really would have thought that. But you've said that, for a long time you've wanted to be in the Asian marketplace, and that's...
Yeah, I really love working internationally and traveling to and experiencing different cultures. So it gave me the opportunity to do all of those things. In addition, it also gave me the opportunity to see almost a grounds-up business being built. Though Pentair has been here several years, their growth has been moderate. And right now we're tracking growth at over 35% year over year.
Was that just because of the way the market is running, or is it a change in strategy that Pentair has put through?
It's both. It's both. It is definitely a part of the Pentair strategy to grow aggressively in Asia because of the opportunities that exist, and a change in management and overall strategy to put an aggressive team in place to drive the growth. And it has worked, and we've been very successful in driving that growth. So it's been a very exciting time to be here.
Oh, great. I think you've been here,
a year and a half.
A year and a half? I know.
Yes.
I met you when you first arrived, so does it seem like you've been here for a year and a half, or?
It's gone by very, very quickly. Being responsible for all of Asia requires a great bit of traveling. I just came in from India this morning. And a significant amount. I mean, we've hired close to 300 people on just in staff jobs, just in salaried positions, and literally hundreds and hundreds of operators to man our factories. So it is very the business model is significantly different than, for example, working in a slow growth, almost a downturn economy that's happening in the U.S. right now. So we do drive productivity and profitability, but in a ramp up, the variables in driving the business are much different.
Well, being in human resources, and I know you were talking about learning all the time, what do you think is actually, to you, the most important element to somebody that's interested in human resource management or anything, quality to
you really do need to be, from a human resources perspective, you really do need to be in tune with what your business is doing. So throughout Asia, you have the emerging markets that are growing very rapidly, and you have to be prepared for the growth. So I often hire people that will be prepared for their jobs to double over the next 1 to 2 years. Not necessarily the job that I have today, but the job that I expect to have in a couple of years. Can they expand and grow with the job? Do they have the capabilities to step up and double their jobs in a couple of years? We have jobs open everywhere and all the time at any given time. We're in an emerging market, we're in a high growth area, and it is about productivity, but more about accompanying the growth and identifying where the growth is and having the right skill set and capabilities for people in their jobs to take advantage of the opportunities in the market.
Do you think that, comparatively with the other locations that you're responsible for, how does China compare to that?
Well, China, it's almost impossible to pick up a newspaper or magazine today and not find something about China or something about India.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the two biggest growth areas in the world today, and that is where we focused a great deal of our energy. Though we've had terrific results throughout Asia.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure that's because there's some great help out there.
There is a great deal of good talent in China today.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Your position here in Shanghai, what made you guys, I guess it must be the market growth. What made you guys decide to base you here rather than anywhere else in Asia?
Throughout Asia Pacific, we do feel that China is our biggest opportunity. So that is where the strongest focus has gone in terms of building an Asia Pacific team and in terms of building a local China team. We have a tremendous portfolio of products, and we are just beginning to touch the surface in terms of opportunities for us in this market. And there's just us together with everybody else.
Right, because most of the companies or corporations that I know here, they have very, very aggressive growth targets. And you mentioned that you guys are expanding quite a bit or planning on growth a lot. Do you ever feel that sometimes it's too quick or too aggressive in regards to, let's just say, the human resource part of it? Are you able to find people that match up to where the company wants to go? Because that's a big thing in the HR.
Right. It is about getting the right people with the right skill set and the right jobs. Mm-hmm. It's not for everybody. Mm-hmm. I do look for a specific profile mm-hmm. in somebody that can and does get excited about growth and understanding what that means. Personally, in terms of doing more and more and more every day, and understanding what infrastructure or resources have to be pulled together to accompany the growth. Obviously, I am facing the same challenges that every other human resources professional is facing in India and China, and that is getting good people, and not only getting good people, but keeping good people. Retention continues to be a challenge for anybody that's working in these two areas.
So how does Pentair deal with retention or keeping
there are multiple tools and ideas that are floating in the market today. Compensation is one, and obviously something that's very aggressively used throughout the market, but management engagement is probably most important. Am I working for somebody that is personally interested in my personal development, in my career, and in what I want to do with my professional life? So management engagement is real important, and I think will continue to play a big role in retaining talent in China.
So we've talked about a little bit about that challenge. Do you see other challenges that perhaps your company or other corporations such as yourself would have in China in regards to human resources?
I think that Chinese employees will become more and more sophisticated in their expectations, and more demanding in what they expect from an employer, what they expect from a manager. So it's there is a shortage of skill sets in specific sectors, but I think that's only going to be short term. I think that as the workforce becomes more sophisticated, and it will, and it has, that it will be a challenge for employers to live up to those expectations and become competitive in terms of pulling the best people or the most talented people to their organizations.
Do you think locally, because you hear a lot of stories about that, you know, you just mentioned Chinese employees or Chinese professionals are more savvy nowadays, but do they tend to over-market themselves or over-expect compared to what is available, or if their skills match what their expectations are, matches whatever a corporation is able to offer, with all the competitiveness?
You see a little bit of both. You will see people that are very aggressive in managing their careers and jumping too fast. What happens is that their capabilities don't match up to the challenge they've put before them, or the promotions that they've accepted, and those flush out or come to reality pretty quickly. There are other people that are very sophisticated in managing their careers and have a strong understanding of what their capabilities are, and are pretty demanding in the type of businesses that they want to work for, the type of managers they accept working for, and the expectations on those managers to sponsor, to mentor, to coach, to support, and to help develop them in their professional careers. So you see a little bit of both, but I think it's just a great time to be in China.
Yeah.
For just about anybody that's got any level of ambition or wants to be in a challenging environment and wants to learn.
Right. You know, you mentioned mentoring and things like that, and you also at the beginning, when we were talking about how you grew, we're seeing or hearing more and more in the market that that's what's really important. I mean, do you feel that that's one of the top things that a professional should have in regards to their own personal development and how they grow?
You should always have mentors and sponsors that can give you honest feedback, that can help you make decisions and help you give direction, whether it's in your current job or if you're thinking about a new opportunity. I've always had very strong sponsorship and strong mentors throughout my career, and it's been invaluable in understanding where I personally need to improve or things that I need to still learn. So it's for me, it's been critical, and those people that understand how to leverage and use mentors and sponsors, I think, are at an advantage.
Being open and developing yourself and always having new input, I think. And of course, you have to be the type of person that wants that too. There's some people that maybe not so necessarily avail themselves or allow them to do that there at a certain level. All right. So then let's just say with China, and you mentioned India, what is one major difference you see?
One major difference is the position of women in these two markets. India traditionally does not have a lot of women executives or even a lot of women in the workplace. They're still traditionally at a stage where they stay home or they're caring for families and children. China is a much different dynamic. You see women at every level, at every place and position, and very well respected and regarded and treated equally in the workplace. I think India is going through a transition today where they will be pulling more and more on women professionals in general, but I think China's there already.
Yeah. Once again, it's very exciting to be here in China.
Yes,
now, with that being said, it is exciting and it's great to be in China.
Yes.
And we talked about all challenges. Are there any personal challenges for you for being in China that you see? Any biggest
Personal challenges. I am been very blessed, and I'm very lucky to have a lot of people around me that take care of me, that help me, that support me. I have not had any bad experiences in China. They have been extremely welcoming. It's just been a delight to learn the culture and to be around the people and to live here. It's been very, very positive.
A very human resource type of person. Okay, so I think we're going to be winding down for this session. Thank you, Catherine, for coming here today. And thank you for watching ITV Asia. We'll see you next time.